Hey guys, great to see you. Welcome back to part 2 of this tutorial on Rock Me Baby by Eric Clapton, and it's taken from his album Lady in the Balcony. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to work your way through part 1 of this lesson. And if you haven't seen that, I'll pop a link down below because it's kind of important that you do these things in order. And playing all those parts will really help you with this. We're going to take a look at in part 2, okay? So as I say, in part 1 we looked at all the intro, which is quite tricky in itself to get down actually, and then we looked at all the rhythmic parts as well as some additional options that you can use as well, right? So it was quite a detailed video and quite a lot of stuff to cover. Now as I say, in this part we're going to be looking at all things melodic. Now Clapton plays 2 solos in the song. And what we're going to do is we're going to take an in-depth look at his first solo. I'm going to show you all the notes, and there are quite a lot of them, right? So you need to get yourselves primed for this. And then what I'd like you to also consider are developing some of your own ideas, because that's equally as important, if not more important, than playing other people's licks. You don't really want to be a guitar player who can just play other people's licks, right? Obviously, you want to be in a position whereby you can come up with your own equally as good type of thing, right? So I'm going to be showing you some scales and some notes that you can use to do that, obviously, and give you plenty of ideas that you can use to try and come up with some of your own ideas. And I've also incorporated several backing tracks so you can kind of practice the intro from part 1, you can practice the rhythm parts, and I'll drop out the various guitar parts so you know you can work on those. And there'll also be a backing track without any solo on it, so there'll be several verses just bare without any kind of vocals, just the backing, and then you can just go round and round practicing your solos over some of these ideas which I'm going to show you. All right, so strap yourself in. It's quite a full lesson, we've got a lot of ground to cover, and let's get started. Now, one of the first things you want to think about is the A minor pentatonic scale. That's going to work for us in this situation. Now you probably know the position 1, but I'm going to run over that, but it's equally as important to know the other positions, right? So there are 5, you've got 5 positions in each kind of thing, right? So you don't just want to know position 1, obviously. Try and develop your knowledge so you know each of these positions going up and down the fingerboard. So A minor pentatonic, top string 5, 8, next string 5, 7, next string 5, 7, next string 5, 7, next string 5, 8, and next string 5, 8. One more time, starting with the thinner string, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5. Now then, we're going to add some notes to that scale because that's exactly what Clapton does. And he adds this major third, which is the 6th fret, 3rd string, all right? And he also adds the 9th, which is the 7th fret, 1st string, and the 6th, which is the 7th fret, 2nd string. Right, now we also have the blue notes, right? And so that is this one. That's 6th fret, 5th string, that's an E flat, and it's this one as well, an octave higher. So that's on the 3rd string, 8th fret, right? So if we add those notes into our A minor pentatonic, right, what we will have is 5, 8, 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. Now, as well as that, you can also use chord tones, and in fact that is what he does as well, right? So, you know, when I say chord tones, effectively what I mean is that you've got an A, right? An A chord here, an A chord here, an A chord here, and on it goes, right? So we can kind of use these shapes and, you know, variations of these shapes as well. That's a very common thing for guitar players to use when they're soloing, you know, and you'll hear when Clapton plays the 2nd solo in the song, he plays, now that's just an A7, right? So this is what I'm saying about chord tones. So you want to also think about chords in different positions higher up the neck. But we'll come to that anyway, right? So here we come now. What we're going to take a look at first of all is the first solo that Clapton plays. So let me break it down into little parts which you can manage. It's all tabbed out as well for you. And then what you want to try and do is pay particular attention to the timing of the notes, okay? And just work on each part, and then you can bolt them all together and you'll have the complete first solo. So before we start getting stuck into this solo, let me remind you how it sounds. Okay, so as I say, what we're going to do is we're going to break this solo down into little manageable parts, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how each part sounds, and then I'll explain it to you. All right, so let's get started. First little section we're going to look at sounds like this. So, 6th fret, 4th string, and we're going to play that note and hammer onto the 7th fret. Then we're going to do exactly the same on the 3rd string. Then we're going to go down onto the 2nd string, 5th fret, play that once, and then we're going to come down onto the 5th fret 1st string and play that note 3 times. Like so. And then we're going to come up onto the 2nd string, 7th fret, 5th fret, and then up onto the 3rd string, 7th fret. Alright, so one more time. What we have is now lick 2 sounds like this. Alright, now this is quite a tricky little lick, so I'll play that for you one more time. Alright, so we're starting out on the 7th fret, 4th string. Then we're going to jump down onto the 3rd string and play the 5th fret and hammer onto the 6th. And then jump back to where we started on the 7th fret, 4th string. Then to the 5th fret, same string, 4th string. And then we're going to jump up onto that 5th string, 5th fret. And slide backwards to the 3rd, and then up onto the top string, 5th fret, and then what we're going to try and do is go onto the 4th string and slide from 5 to 7, like so. And if you put that all together, you have now for lick 3, sounds like this. Okay, so this isn't too bad, right? We're on the 4th string, 7th fret. Just play that once. Jump down onto the 3rd string and play the 5th fret and hammer onto the 7th. And then onto the 2nd string, 5, 7. And the 1st string, 5, 7, 7. So you've got and that is lick 3. Now for lick 4, we have one more time. And what you're listening for here is the timing. It's not just what notes, but equally as important, as I say, is the timing, right? So this is lick 4, and we start out on the 2nd string, 7th fret, like so. then onto the 1st string, 5th fret, back to this 7th fret 2nd string, and then back to the 1st string, 5th fret. So you're going to play 3 notes, 2 of them close together, and then back to this 7th fret 2nd string, and to finish with a quick 5-7 on the bottom string hammer on. So that whole little section, and that is lick 4. Okay, now we come to lick 5. Okay, now this is probably one of the hardest licks in this solo. Now this is a very bluesy thing you will have heard before, right, for lick 5. And this is where we play the 7th fret 2nd string and 8th fret 1st string, like so. And you're going to play this 4 times, and you're going to bend it each time. So you got, yeah, you will have heard that kind of bluesy thing before, yeah? Like so. Then what we're going to play is 5 on the 1st string. Now what you want to do here is just bar the bottom 2 strings, because you're going to play 5 on the 1st string, 5 on the 2nd string, then the 7th fret 3rd string, then the 5th fret 3rd string, then the 7th fret 4th string, and then what we're going to do is we're going to jump up onto the 5th string, and we're going to slide from 5 to 4 and jump up onto the top string, 5th fret, and then slide from 5 to 7 on the 4th string. Okay, so very, very slow. We've got and that is lick 5. Okay, now lick 6 is quite a long lick, alright, so this is another one which is going to kind of take a little bit of practice, so just be patient with yourself working on these sections, right? So we've got so quite a lot of notes there, right? Okay, so the first little section what you're looking to play is alright, so that's sliding into the 7th fret 2nd string, then playing this 1st string 5th fret twice, then back to the 7 on the 2nd string, and then back to the 5th fret 1st string, and then one more note after a little gap. So the next little phrase is, okay, so that's 3 bends on the 7th fret 1st string, then just a standard 7th, then the 5th, that's all on the 1st string, and then we jump up onto the 2nd string, 7th fret. So that's, then we do very, very similar thing again, 3 more bends on the 7, and then a standard 7. So you've got, and now what we're going to play is, okay, so that's playing the 5th fret 1st string, hammering onto the 7th and pulling off, going up to the 7th fret 2nd string, and playing 2 notes on the 5th fret 1st string. Okay, so far you should have so don't worry, we're coming towards the end now. We come up to this 12th fret 1st string and we play that once. And then we play the 10th fret 2nd string 3 times. And then we finish with this nice little lick where we play. doing here is we're borrowing the bottom 2 strings, 8th fret, slide in if you can, 7th fret, 5th fret, and then we're jumping up onto the 4th string, playing the 7th fret, pulling off and hammering on to that 7. Alright, so the whole section, lick number 6, slowed right down. And so that's the first solo that Eric plays, and it's a lovely solo to get down. Now, it may require a fair bit of practice before you get it as smooth as you might like it to be, right? But patience is the name of the game here, right, as we already know. So try and get these things nice and smooth, because it really will make a difference to how it sounds. Now, when he goes into his second solo, as I said earlier on, he plays this. Alright, and that's just an A7, right? So all that is the 8th fret 2nd string, and then the 9th fret 1st and 3rd strings. Now you can also play an A in the bass, obviously, if you wanted to. And then he goes back a semitone and goes. And then he's back into his A minor. And kind of, you know, playing around those positions in the A minor pentatonic with those added notes that I've pointed out, yeah? So we don't want to get too lost in what he's doing, because as we've already looked at the first solo in great depth, then I think it's well worth your while just trying to explore those notes that I started out with and see what kind of licks you can come up with, because honestly there are just so many things you can kind of do, and it's about trying to make sense of these scales and just develop your own ideas. And the only way really to do that is to kind of play along with the backing track and just keep going round and round and round until you hit on some licks that you really do like, you know, and then remember them or even tab them out, and you know, you can always share them with everybody else here. So there's lots of things that we can do, but we definitely need to devote some time to developing ourselves rather than just trying to copy other people, right? So hopefully that's helped you. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please drop those down below, because, you know, if I can help you in any way, then obviously I'd like to do that. And remember that there's quite a lot of material to accompany this lesson with the backing tracks and also the PDFs which are included. The whole solo is tabbed out, all right? So I hope you have fun with this, because that's ultimately what it's all about, and I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson. And in the meantime, you all take care.